Have you ever bought some bananas and before you can eat them all, they're brown and they're too ripe and you get really frustrated because you just wasted all that money? Well, this is the perfect type of banana for banana bread. Now, if you're like me, I don't buy a lot of bananas at a time, so if I have one that's too ripe, I put it in the freezer. And when you have enough, you can make banana bread. Today I'm going to show you 3 steps to making banana bread. This process is preparing the ingredients, the mixing process, and the baking process. Before I show you that, I just wanted to point this out. This was a presentation that I did for my personality the first year I was here, and this is my last semester. And we had to find a food that represented our personality, and I chose chocolate chip and banana muffins. This is the reason why. They are chocolate chips are warm and sweet. No one can get enough of them once they realize how sweet they are. The goodness contained within, and its beautiful heart. Banana, it has an outer exterior for protection, and it's not so tough. So it gets discouraged if if people bruise it, which is like me. And so I thought that was pretty neat that I chose this for this class. The ingredients you will need is 4 eggs, 2 cups of sugar, 1 cup of butter, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and 2 1/4 cups of wheat flour, and 2 cups of bananas, which I've realized is about 2 bananas per cup, so it's 4. Paul Bell, who is somebody that I work for, he suggested, because at first I just did regular flour, he suggested the wheat flour, and now that it's healthy, I have to throw chocolate chips in it. So the story of the chocolate chips is that he suggested wheat flour, and I was just making it, and I wanted to know what I could put in it other than nuts. So I decided to try chocolate chips and have my friends try it, and it was a hit. They loved it. Now that you know the ingredients, I'm going to show you how to mix it. For some reason, there's a precise mixing situation that you have to do. You first get a large bowl, and you put 2 cups of sugar in it, which I've already measured. And here's a 1 cup measuring so all of you can see. And the butter is better for softened. Now, if you're like me and you do it last minute, last night, you don't have softened butter right away, so it's okay to put it in the microwave. Now this is soft now because it's been in my bags. Now you take the fork and you just mush it down into the sugar until it's all mixed. I like it sometimes when it's melted because then you don't really have to mix it that much. So now that that's done, Helen Bell, who is the one who originally gave me this recipe, told me for the bananas to put them in the freezer, and then afterwards you really don't have to mush them because they are already mushed. So these are just out of the freezer so you really don't have to mush them. So it takes off the process. If you don't have ripened bananas and you want to do this, the recipe for living said you can poke a hole on it on both sides and put it in the microwave for a minute. Which I had some ripe bananas last night, so I tried it with one of them and it came out pretty well. So. So then then now you just smush it with your fork, and it's a lot easier than if it was a ripe banana, because last night it was real tough. And if you have chunks, it's all up to you on like what you prefer. Some like it chunky bananas, some don't. So you can just test it and see what you like. Now that you did your bananas, you add eggs to the bananas. You add 4. I semi-cracked one in the weight glass. Now you just mix it all up. Make sure you get the yolk to where you don't really see a defined just yolk and yellow and white. You want it all mixed together. Now in this, you add it to your sugar and butter. Mix it all together. And towards the end, like if it's chunky, that's fine. Whenever, like if the butter didn't melt all the way, or if you just have, whenever it cooks, it moistens it. So it doesn't have to be like pancake batter or anything. Now in the smaller bowl, you're going to add the flour and the baking soda. I am going to add it to this bag and shake it up so I know that it's all processed throughout, because if I stick it in there, then it's going to get stuck. But if you're at home, just rinse the small bowl and you're good to go. Now some flour, whenever you're mixing it, they always say mix it in slowly, but with this, you really don't. You can just put it in there, and it just has to get moistened. So I'm just going to pour an entire bag. If you want to mix it slowly, you can. It's all what you want to. Now last night I ran out of chocolate chips making these for you, so I don't have any to put in here. But if you, I put 1/4 cup because it's just enough, and you can get that sweet, and it's not too sweet. So it's all what you, if you want it sweeter, then put more chocolate chips. If you don't want chocolate chips, then put nuts. It's all up to what you like. Now you see, it is chunky, and it doesn't need to be smooth or anything like that. Now for the class, I didn't know, I wanted to make sure I had enough for everyone, so I did it in 2 muffin pans instead of a loaf pan. And at first I didn't even know how many muffins I was going to make, so I just did a tablespoon and did 2 tablespoons, or like 1.5, into the muffin cups, and realized that that was the perfect. So if you're doing muffins, it makes 2 pans of muffins, like a 12 count. So it makes 2 of these. If you put it in 2 loaf pans, then the lady that I work for, Helen, she says you have one for home and you have one to give. So she loves to give it out, and so that's what I do. So if I make it, I usually give one out. So you just put them into the muffin. And so that right there came out with about this size. So it comes out with a pretty good size. And So next time that you have 2 ripe bananas, you will know what to do with them. And if you don't have enough, put them in the freezer and you can use them again. And so now you know the ingredients, the mixing process, and the baking process to make fabulous banana bread cupcakes or muffins.
Wonderful. All right.